So a couple of things about this rig. I do not have plumbing. And a lot of times, like, people will be like, get plumbing. Why don't you have plumbing? But to be honest, especially after living in the car, it is so much easier to live without it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're going to meet Autumn. Hi Autumn.
Hello.
And you are in a really nice setup here.
Yes.
You've got a car and a Class C.
Yes.
So how long have you been on the road?
So it's been about 27 months now. I had talked from the time I was 17 about living in a car, living in a van, living in an RV, and I got so much feedback that I was crazy. And I didn't do it until I was 38 years old, and the pandemic really provided the opportunity. So in the pandemic, all my work went remote. I already had remote internet because I lived way the heck out of town. So I figured, why not? And it's been the best thing. Like, it was a dream, and there have been things that have been really hard about it, but I don't ever see myself going back.
Right. You started out in the car without the Class C.
Yes.
I think it's pretty hard to live in a car.
Yes.
And so how did that go for you? For how long were you in the car? Then the Class
A year and a half before the Class
Wow.
C. Yeah. And full time. It's very hard. It was hard ergonomically because I work from the road. So doing things basically with a computer, a lot of times I'm on Zoom, so my back would start to hurt. It could get really hot.
So after about a year and a half, you decided it was just too uncomfortable to be long-term.
Yeah.
But you must have by then also decided, I'm going to be doing this a long time.
Yes. I loved how much money I saved. I loved how much more time I had more time all of a sudden because I didn't have to work so much and pay rent and all the expenses of living. And I also had more money because I could save the money that I earned. Yeah, it took me a long time to decide on the Class C, and I have it now. I wouldn't choose it again, but I have it now, and I love it, and I'm going to just enjoy the experience while I have it, but I would have gotten something smaller.
So maybe a van or a Class B?
A Class B. Initially, I didn't think standing was going to be that big of a deal for me. However, after being in the Class C, I do like to stand.
Right.
So I probably would get a Class B next, or maybe even a truck camper.
Well, what people don't think about is the periods of bad weather.
Yes.
When you're just stuck inside.
Yes.
And it's nice to be inside somewhere you like being.
Yes.
And you're very comfortable.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a whole different attitude when I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
And instead of, well, I'm going to go for a month or two and I'm going to save a lot of gas money. And
Exactly.
well worth.
Yes. I cannot believe how blessed I am, how lucky I am, and that the world doesn't want to go out and do this.
Yeah.
Like, it
What's wrong
blows
with
my
them?
mind. And then especially because I do get stigma associated with this lifestyle.
Sure.
And for a long time, I wasn't sure how transparent I wanted to be about it.
Right.
But I just can't believe more people don't do this. To me, it's freedom, it's peace, it's all the things you said.
Right.
Yeah.
Most people just are, society's training, they're not capable of overcoming it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it never took hold on you and I and a lot of other people out there.
Yeah. I feel so grateful and so blessed. And I'll be honest, because there are a lot of things that I found required courage and bravery, but the hardest thing for me was stepping outside of that stigma.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful I did.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Well, would it be okay if we checked out your two homes?
Yes.
Your main home and your vacation home?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now tell us all about your nice Class C here.
All right. Well, this is a 1991 vintage Itasca Spirit. It's a Ford. I bought it with 58,000 miles. I only have 59,000 miles, so I've not drove this thing much, just kind of from one place in the forest to the next. And I was in that industrial yard for a while. This thing was not great on the outside or inside. I had to redo the whole roof. By the way, when I saw how messed up the roof was, I got an estimate and they said it was going to cost $12,000 to fix. I fixed it for $300. So just know, and it was YouTube videos and asking family and friends who knew about construction. And so far, no leaks. We'll see. The monsoons are testing my work.
Yes.
Also, I renovated it. I'm a glamper. As you could tell, I really love pretty, beautiful things, really hyper feminine. So you will see that as we come inside.
Wow, you did a really great job
thank you.
remodeling it.
Thank you. Yeah, so I love being in here. It's different than, I've always loved interior design. It's been like a hobby. And this is so different than anything I ever did. Everything else always looked like my car, lots of pastels and bright colors. So this was very fun. I've sort of joked that, so I turned 40 this year. I'm like, this is my new sophisticated look. So a couple of things about this rig. I do not have plumbing. And a lot of times, like on my YouTube channel, people will be like, get plumbing. Why don't you have plumbing? But to be honest, especially after living in the car, it is so much easier to live without it.
Yeah.
So I am really happy without it. So you'll notice I don't have a faucet. I need to polyurethane the countertops and even that table. So I haven't done that yet. So I have more ongoing things to do. This is super convenient, just having more counter space and cutting space for cooking. It's also so nice to have a 4-burner stove. So I do have an oven, which I've used a few times, although I find it doesn't cook so evenly. I do use my microwave. I have a generator on this thing, and I feel really bad when I turn it on because I hate the sound of generators. So I will use it if I need air conditioning and it's just too hot for my dog. Or I'll use it to microwave quickly. Let's see, it's not quite a full fridge, but I guess it's a full RV fridge.
It's a big one.
Yeah, and after running a fridge in the car with electricity, being able to run a fridge on propane is such a luxury. And I also have a freezer, which is also amazing. I can have iced drinks, which is not something I could have unless I went to like a convenience store. All right, so welcome to the bedroom. This honestly feels very luxurious. This is why it feels like such a mansion. And I've got so much closet space. When the roof was leaking, it leaked really badly into here. So I had to do quite a bit of pulling things out that had mold and doing a whole mold remediation and reconstructing. Here's my power stations. So I do have 200 watts of solar on the roof, but it really only lights my lights. I don't have an inverter. So I use power stations for all of my work and all of my other electronic needs.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see, what else? Oh, this is kind of funny. This is like a quirk of having an old RV. So I use my broken door handle to hold open my broken window crank, or I use a pin like I've got over there. You know, I felt like the white, it makes it feel really open. It gives it a sense that it's a lot bigger. And before, this was all oak, and the wood was actually in pretty good condition, but I really do love the white as well. So because I don't use plumbing, I do not have a toilet, so I just put extra storage. Those are from Walmart. My shower is storage. By the way, this is how I go number 1. And then for number 2, I just have a camp toilet with bags. It's so simple, so easy. I do have a whole video about this because this is what I used in the car. So easy. This, I don't know if you want me to share this, but this is a female urinal. It's like a medical device. Sure. Super easy. I found that to be better than a toilet.
Yeah, you're not alone. I know a lot of people that just eliminate the bathroom, using it as a bathroom, and to go ahead and use the bucket. You
know, I shower at the gym. I wouldn't even want to shower in the rig. Like, then I'd have to dump it, and yeah, it's just not, I don't know. I think having lived in the car before the RV was a really great thing, because what it did is I got so used to living so simplistic that everything in here is a luxury. Whereas if I went from a house straight to the RV, it would feel like a loss. So this was a great kind of way to do it.
Yeah, very much.
Let's see what else. My dog, Chloe, I have tried to keep these clean, and I'm going to look into getting some that you can like take off and wash, because I upholstered these and she gets them very dirty. But I just marvel at the amount of storage. As you can see, girly, feminine, love that. I love organization and order. So easy to do in a space this big, which I know some people would say this is small, but after the car. I also really enjoy the loft. Because I don't have a couch in here, sometimes I'll come up here and lounge. I'll move the pillows and move out the window. There are a couple of things I want to share. I renovated this entire thing for $500.
Wow.
Now that doesn't include like electrical and engine work that needed done. But the cosmetic renovation was less than $500 actually. It was mostly paint. And I like to show you a few like things. So a lot of people ask where I got these. Thrift store, Goodwill. All of these pillows, every pillow up here, I got for $39 at Goodwill. These tiles that you see throughout, those I got at the dollar store. So they're $1 for a 12 by 12 tile. And then I just painted them. So I was able to do so much of the walls, which really needed it because the walls looked bad. So to be like, there was just a lot of damage to different parts of them. Also, something else I love because it was a creative challenge. This is my solar, I guess, inverter box. Is that what you call it?
A controller, probably.
Yes, yes. And so because I didn't find it attractive, when I first bought this, there were just kind of wires hanging down. It was tricky to figure out how to make it pretty, but able to make it pretty in that way. I did the same thing with this little flower over there. Right behind it is, I'll sneak over and show you, a very unattractive level tester.
Right.
So and this is museum putty. So when I drive, I don't actually have to take this down by just sort of sticking it. You know, again, for me, frugality is so important. When I was looking for this nice touch, this, I don't even know what you call it, like a decorative rope, is sort of crown molding. I initially looked at Michael's and Joann's fabric, and they were like $6.99 a yard. Not a yard, it was $6.99 a yard. I ended up getting this at Hobby Lobby for 99 cents a yard.
Wow.
So just kind of doing a little bit of exploration saved me a lot of money. There was a chair here. And I'll share a picture of that. There was a chair, it was sort of torn up. It was not very comfortable, and it was blue. So it didn't go with the aesthetic that I created. I got this for $10 at a thrift store, which was really exciting. And it's a perfect fit. It's just like a little miniature desk. I did find them on Amazon as well. You can get them new for only like $40, but I liked my thrift store find.
Sure. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And you have the pass-through into the cab.
Yes, and I'll show you. I have not yet renovated the cab. That is on my to-do list, but it is really nice to have that pass-through, and I will make that aesthetical, the black and white theme as well. I just had some engine work done. Before I purchased this, I did a pre-sale inspection on the engine, not on the rig as a whole, because that was going to be like $700. And the engine's, it's in pretty good condition. So I'm happy with that, especially for an older rig.
And you tow, obviously, your car.
No, I don't. So I'm in the market for a tow dolly.
Oh.
And I'm also trying to see if my car might actually work with a tow bar. I got to talk to Nissan for that.
Right.
So I'm in the market for a tow dolly. And then it'll be a learning curve, because even learning to drive this was a learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not easy. But now it is. It took me about 2 months to get really comfortable with this rig. And after 2 months, I drive this as easily as I drive my car.
Tell us again, if
Yes.
people want to contact you, how they can get hold of you.
Yes, so we are on YouTube. We are Autumn and Chloe on YouTube. We do offer nomadic coaching, which is a really cool thing.
Yeah, so go look her up, especially for the coaching. I know I have a lot of people approach me about they're looking for a mentor, and they're willing to pay. So, you've already obviously gotten it down. So
yeah, and I'm learning every day, but I really have learned so much.
Right.
And yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there who come to my channel, they watch, they enjoy, they love it, but they just can't quite get over the hump and do it themselves.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for them?
Yes, I would encourage them to explore, like really get curious. What is it that's stopping you? Like get super clear on that, and then talk about it with people who love this life. Like I said, I would talk about this and get so much pushback or negative feedback or told it's not possible. So find people who love it. Find people who have tried it. Surround yourself with a community of who values courage and bravery and alternative living, but get really clear on what that hump is. What is it that's stopping you?
And one more question. A lot of what stops people is they're just physically afraid.
Yes.
Will they be attacked?
Right.
Will they be safe?
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them about that?
It's good to be alert and aware. A lot of times people will ask me if I'm afraid, and I say I'm properly afraid. Like, I will trust my fear, I'll trust my intuition, but I am far more afraid of the life I was living before. And so also self-defense. Like, for example, I'm really well trained in multiple types of self-defense, and that gives me tons of bravery for this life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing more important you can do than take some classes.
Yes.
In whatever form of self-defense appeals to you.
Absolutely. And another thing too is, statistically, this is not a dangerous lifestyle. Statistically, it's really dangerous to be in cities. It's really dangerous to be in the home, especially as a woman. And so this, I feel far safer out here than I ever have, really.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's been my experience as well. And most of the people I meet say that. Yeah. They came out afraid, they were here for a while, and then they realized, this is the safest I've ever been.
Yes. Well, and the great thing is, if you do get a vibe and you're not comfortable where you are, even if it's a gorgeous place like this, you just drive away.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Autumn, thank you so much for sharing your life with us and your two homes, your regular home and your summer home. And I really, really appreciate your sharing. A lot of great ideas here, a lot of wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful.
So, folks, if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you on the next video. See you then.